Hello. This is Antje from Byte Shuffle. Thank you for always watching our videos. This time, I've put together a guide on how to play against 12 post when using Doomsday, including strategy tips and sideboard considerations. There's also a link to the pile breakdown video in the description, so feel free to check it out. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. I'll keep this hand since I can smooth it out with draw spells. This is the best window to make my discard effective, so I'm using it now. I took Karn, the Great Creator. The Surveil effect put the card into the graveyard. I'm going to search for Doomsday. I'll counter it with Force of Will. I'm going all in. From here, I'm increasing my mana to set up the combo. The biggest threats to watch out for right now are Disruptor Flute and Kozilek's Command. If I anticipate Kozilek's Command, I need to leave at least one card in the pile when I go off, to avoid losing to the scry mode. Also, since the One Ring is on the battlefield, I'm looking to go off as soon as possible. I'm planning to make a move next turn, then be ready to go off again on the following turn if needed. Specifically, I'll stack the pile from the bottom as Street Wraith Thassa's Oracle Consider. This leaves 2 cards in the pile, letting me make a first attempt using the Unearth already in my hand. Then, on the following turn, I'll stack Street Wraith's Cycling Trigger and activate Lion's Eye Diamond in response, generating 5 mana and casting Thassa's Oracle for the win. I built the pile in the following order: Lion's Eye Diamond, Thassa's Oracle, Street Wraith, Thassa's Oracle, Consider. I made a mistake with the pile order here. It should have been Thassa's Oracle followed by Lion's Eye Diamond. I put Thassa's Oracle into the graveyard with Consider and make my first attempt using Unearth. Here, the opponent targeted me with the Scry effect, which prevented me from activating Lion's Eye Diamond in response, leaving me without the mana to cast Thassa's Oracle. And this is where the adventure came to an end. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. Here's the actual sideboard plan I used during the match. For some reason, I forgot to take out Night's Whisper, so I ended up sideboarding this way just to adjust the numbers. Please make sure to use this version instead. Here are the cards in 12 post that can impact Doomsday. First, there's Disruptor Flute. You can use ritual-based mana acceleration to cover the additional costs. Or you can avoid it by sending Thassa's Oracle to the graveyard with Consider and bringing it back with Unearth. Next, regarding Pithing Needle. It can shut down activated abilities like Cycling from Edge of Autumn or Street Wraith, as well as fetch lands. It's something you should definitely keep in mind when building your pile. Next, Karn Silex on 1 can shut down cards that require life payment. Specifically, it shuts down cards like Force of Will and Street Wraith, as well as fetch lands. However, Doomsday can still be cast, since the life payment is not part of its casting cost. So depending on the situation, it might be safe to simply ignore it. Next, Trinosphere. If you already have enough lands in hand, it might be safe to ignore it as well. Next, Karn, the Great Creator. It shuts down our Lotus Petal and Lion's Eye Diamond. Depending on the game state, it might be something you can ignore, but you should definitely be mindful of it when building your pile. Next, Boseiju, who endures. It can destroy our non-basic lands or Lion's Eye Diamond. This can lead to losing the game if it prevents us from paying the mana cost for Thassa's Oracle. When possible, it's best to keep this in mind during pile construction to avoid getting caught off guard. Next, Kozilek's Command. If we cast Thassa's Oracle with an empty library, the scry mode of Kozilek's Command can cause us to lose the game. That's why it's essential to leave at least one card in the pile when going off, to avoid losing to the scry effect. However, since it can also remove Thassa's Oracle or exile the graveyard, the ideal approach is to use discard to clear the way or have counterspell backup before going for the Oracle win. I'm keeping this hand since it looks like I can go all in on turn 1. I'm going all in. From here, I'm increasing my mana to set up the combo. Since my opponent is on 12 post, they probably won't have any particularly strong plays on turn 1. Just in case, I'm placing Force of Will at the top of the pile so I can hold up a counter and still win with Thassa's Oracle. I'll fill the gaps in the pile with cyclers, and while the bottom card can be anything, I'll make sure to leave one card in the pile to play around potential disruption. I built the pile in the following order: Consign to Memory Thassa's Oracle, Street Wraith, Force of Will. I'm using the pile opener to draw through the pile. I win the game with Thassa's Oracle. I'm going to keep this hand since it looks like I can go all in early. I'm going to dig for disruption. I stacked Personal Tutor, Night's Whisper, then Daze, and drew them in that order. I'll counter it with Daze. The Surveil effect put the card into the graveyard. I'm going all in. From here, I'm increasing my mana to set up the combo. Thassa's Oracle is in my hand. To play around Disruptor Flute, I'm stacking the pile as Consider Thassa's Oracle Unearth, allowing for a one-turn attempt. Since I have Force of Will in hand, I probably won't need the 4th and 5th cards in the pile to win, but I'll place some potentially useful cards there just in case. I built the pile in the following order: Consign to Memory Force of Will, Unearth Thassa's Oracle, Consider. I put Thassa's Oracle into the graveyard with Consider, then bring it back with Unearth for the win. I'll counter it with Force of Will. Lastly, I have an announcement. I'm posting the concepts behind the images used in my videos, as well as small flavor-inspired stories, in the YouTube community section. Additionally, I'm selling merch for the channel through the link in the description. If you're interested, be sure to check it out. Thank you for watching up to this point. I apologize for the many play mistakes. I hope to improve at MTG together with everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. See you next time. This is Antya.